It almost hit me in the head, on the forehead.
This is the Emax Tiny Hawk, one of the most popular beginner FPV quadcopters. It was sent to me from banggood.com and I want to thank them for letting me get my hands on my first real FPV drone. I'm definitely very excited to turn off the simulator and try out something real for the very first time. The price of this quadcopter is around $160 and it comes completely ready to fly as it's bundled with everything you need: the drone, a controller, FPV goggles, 450 mAh LiPo battery, USB charger, a cable for charging the controller, extra props, and a bag of small parts. All of this comes in a really nice carrying case with a carbon fiber pattern, which is great for taking the whole package with you. The quadcopter itself is super small as it's made mostly for indoor flying, but let me tell you, there won't be any indoor flying in this video as I'm struggling quite a bit with it and I don't want to break it before I can show it to you first, so because of that I'll test it outdoors. The Tiny Hawk can reach a maximum speed of about 55 km per hour and has a range of about 60 meters from the remote. The flight time is about 4 minutes, which is okay for a quad of this size. If I don't break it soon, I'll definitely invest in more batteries as the time is never enough to enjoy the flight. Something which I definitely like about this drone, even though it was a bit confusing at first, is the inverted motor design. You would expect that the propellers are located on top of the quadcopter, but here it's the other way around, which is done so the center of gravity is lower and you can actually fly in tighter spaces. On the remote controller you can see 3 switches for arming, disarming, and for activating a beeper. This is extremely useful when you lose the drone and you'll see it in action later in the video. You also have 3 switches on the right for 3 different flight modes: easy, intermediate, and advanced. The difference in those modes is mostly in the angle of the quadcopter as well as the speed it can reach. The goggles have 2 antennas on top as well as 2 buttons on the right and 2 on the left. They are for switching the channel and frequency as well as auto scan and a menu button. The image in the goggles is clear and bright and you can fine tune it to your taste by adjusting the brightness, screen zoom, and a few other options from the screen of the goggles itself.
So here I am ready to test out the Emax Tiny Hawk, and I think I will start first without using the FPV goggles just so I can see how the quadcopter is actually flying around when I'm not at home. When I was trying it at home, I was crashing constantly, bumping in every single wall, and I think broke a little the camera. So now I'm just going to try and see what I can do without using the goggles, and then I will quickly switch to the goggles and see what I can do with them. Unfortunately, I don't know how I can record the screen of the goggles, so for now I won't be able to show you what I'm seeing in the goggles. If any of you guys know how I can do that, please let me know in the comment section below, because I really want to show you how the goggles look like from the inside as well. But for now I'll just show you how the drone is flying and then share my impressions of it. So here I have the controller, which I am now going to turn on. And I still can't get over how small this thing is, but I'm going to turn it on as well by just connecting the battery to the drone. Wow, for now I can feel that it's stable, it's nice, but it's drifting a lot from the wind, and I don't really see which way I'm going, so of course it makes a lot more sense to use the goggles. So yeah, I see that I can control it, so I will turn on the goggles and see what I can do with them. So let me just bring it back. Yeah, that's a nice landing, I think. So now I'll just put on the goggles. I only need to get those antennas up. The battery pack is here and you only need to connect it like this, and you immediately start hearing that the goggles are powering on. There's a really nice slot for the battery which you can put here, and I like that little touch. That way it doesn't get in the way, it's not bothering you while you're flying. And I know how ridiculous I'm going to look with it, but I'm ready to start flying. Let me just prepare everything. The drone is facing that way. first time ever flying with FPV goggles, so it's an interesting, important moment for me. So thumbs up on this video if you are excited. Let's see what I can do. Probably crash a lot, but we'll see. Okay, I don't see anything. Wait, let me just land. The camera is definitely pointed too high, so I was just seeing the sky, nothing else. So I need to adjust that very quickly, and I'm not sure where the drone landed, so yeah, I hear the beep. There is a little toggle on the remote which you can press and the drone will start beeping. Hopefully it's not in those bushes, but we'll find out very soon. So it's right in the middle of those bushes, and that's how it beeps. So I'm happy that it has this function. So let's try again. Once again, I don't see anything. So the camera is really pointed too up, and I see the sky and just the top of the trees. So I really need to readjust it, maybe get some tape and try again, but now I need to find the drone first. So you know, I have to keep it real because that's the main point of these episodes about learning to fly FPV, and this is frustrating. It's really hard, to be honest, simply because you are in a completely different world once you put on these FPV goggles. I'm trying to see around myself, but I just don't see anything, and I see some branches, I see some stuff that I am not aware where is it, how close is it, and I just don't really I can't really orientate myself around this location. So of course I know it's going to be hard. I'm not going to give up or anything, but just wanted to let you know that I find it to be extremely difficult to control this drone. Maybe I'm really bad at flying FPV, probably I am actually, but I'm going to keep trying just to see what I can do. I will try without the goggles once again, just so I can learn how to control the drone a bit better, because with this controller the sticks are a bit hard. They're not like the sticks that I'm using on my usual controller when I'm flying on the simulator. So with this it has a steep learning curve, I would say, and it will take a lot of crashing, a lot of time to get used to this, and what can I say? I'm excited to get better, but for now I really suck at this. It almost hit me in the head, on the forehead, but let me tell you, when I'm flying like this without the goggles, it's just so much easier. It's so much easier because I'm seeing everything. Maybe that's how I'm supposed to start flying this quadcopter without the goggles, so I can learn to control it a bit better, and once I do, once I get more comfortable, then maybe I will jump to the goggles. I think the battery is now done completely. I just landed, crash landed. But honestly, when I'm not using the goggles, this drone is a lot of fun to fly. It goes wherever you want it to go. And it really takes just a little bit time to get used to the controller, but after taking some time and getting used to the controller, I can say that I quite like it. Yes, it's small, it's tiny, so the wind is going to push it away a lot, but for these conditions right now, when it's slightly windy, I think it's fine. I am going to try to fly it inside once again and get better at flying at home, but for now, when the weather is good, I will still continue to try to fly it outside. But anyway, I think that's mostly it for my first FPV drone. And let me just say, this is only the beginning. I promise you that I will try to get better, and I really want to get those really cool cinematic shots with an FPV drone. And of course, you need to get through a lot of crashes and a lot of drones like this to get better and to actually be able to record with a really cool cinematic FPV drone. So that's everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching me crash so many times and for struggling with my first ever FPV drone, but it's been a pleasure. This is Mike from Drone Supremacy, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ciao!